Here we have a chart of total sales data for the last 2 years, and we can see some insights on it, but there's got to be a way to get more insights on this. And I'm going to show you how. One way is we want to grab let's see what the average is of the sales over the last 24 months, I believe it is. So we're going to do the average formula. This is what most people do when they want to show insights. They'll take the average of their data range, and in this case, it's going to be B 23 to B all the way down to B. Control Enter. Scroll down. There we are. We got our average all the way down there. The reason we filled it all the way down is so we can get this line right here. So now we have a little bit more insight about what's going on here. Average, we can see that a couple of these high points and low points has caused our average to be a little finicky, not a straight line. We can see some peaks. Another technique we may try is we may try to see what the median of the data set is. So we know exactly the halfway point. 50% will fall above or below this number, but we have to write it in formula way in order to get it to work. So we'll take the same data range, B23 to B, hit enter, and they give us this option right down here, as you can see, autofill. So I'm just going to do that. We need to autofill so it shows the line. As you can see here, now we have our median. 50% of data is below this purple line and 50% is above. We can see average doesn't match up, so this is not a perfectly symmetrical data set. It is close, but not perfect, so we can see that there are some outliers that are causing our average to change quite a bit. Now, let me show you how to get the outlier part of this data set. One way to get the outlier of this data set is by using standard deviations or the parametric method. So we're going to do the average lower limit, and that'll set our boundary of what we consider not an outlier, and we'll do the average upper limit, and that'll set a boundary of what's going to be at the top. To write this formula, it's very simple. We're going to take the average of B23 of the data range that we're using. Then, since we're doing the lower limit, I want to subtract it from the standard deviation of that same data set. And if you need want it more in depth about this, I would suggest watching Brandon Fultz or StatQuest. They go into great detail about what standard deviation is, how it works, and why it works. But we're going to multiply that standard deviation times 1.96. And this is where they explain what the 95% confidence interval. Essentially, this means that I'm confident that 95% of the data, no matter where it is going to fall between these two limits. Anything outside of that, I would say, is an outlier. And that's one way you can detect outliers. So we'll hit enter, control enter to fill all the way down. Oh, see, now we have our lower limit. We can see that neon green line there. Take that same formula, and if you've been thinking, to get the upper limit, you just change the minus to plus and control enter. And there you have it. We have a lower and an upper limit. Now we can see a range of what's acceptable based off the average, and I can see there's one data point. This is perfect to give more insight about the data. But let me show you one more way how to detect outliers that aren't susceptible to moving by the average because of the outliers. Now say we're looking at this and you feel that these other high points should be considered outliers and highlight them in your report. And you don't feel that the range is accepting of it because it's not detecting these outliers. Another way, and most common way I normally try to do outlier detection, is the IQR method, or non-parametric method. I don't know what the technical term is, but I call it the IQR because you're going to grab the IQR, which is essentially the first quartile, the first 75% of the data, quartile 3 minus quartile 1, then times that number by 1.5. Kind of like the standard deviation, but you'll see in just a second. I'm going to paste the formula because it is a little bit more to write. We're going to take the first quartile and we're going to subtract it from this IQR. The IQR is quartile 3 and we have the formulas right here. Pause the video if you need to. Minus quartile 1, times that by 1.5. Then we want to take quartile 1, subtract that, and that's how we get our lower limit for the IQR method. Control Enter, and we can see a new line form. We want to get the upper limit. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, we'll just add it from quartile 1. No, we want to go up to the third. We need to make that fence. So we're going to take quartile 3 and add 1.5 times the quartile to get it. Essentially, the IQR is 50% of the data. It's the 50% of the middle. So it grabs everything in the middle. So we hit enter, control enter. And now we have 2 new lower limits and 2 higher limits. And what this limit does, we detected this outlier, this outlier, this outlier, and this outlier. So it speaks more truly to the data set. So next time you're running a report and you want to give more insight to data, think about using this type of method of showing outliers to highlight data points of big numbers. Like in sales data, November 2023 was big. We could say that was due to the Christmas holiday. We can say March was big. We could say that was due to stimulus checks or tax returns. April died down because people had to pay for their taxes, and then we get a big spike again in March. We would use this to highlight data points over the generic sales chart that we had before. Now we have a chart that's more informative. And if you plan on using this in your next reporting for sales data or trend data, let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, if you found this helpful in any way, hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you need more analysis tricks to help you better data storytelling, check out these videos I'm showing on the screen now. Other than that, have a great day, everyone.